Hi, my name is Nikki Kleppel, and welcome to Practical Wisdom Stories. Number one question I get is, how do I not feel so nervous when presenting? So even forget the practical parts of presenting. It's just in our own mindset. A lot of times, frankly, human nature is to frequently worry what people are thinking about us. And public speaking and presenting is one of those most vulnerable situations that we can be in, especially if it's to a large audience or very high level people, that we can talk ourselves into thinking, oh, what if they think I'm an idiot? What if I forget what I'm going to say? We can race through a lot of what if scenarios. So a couple of things to help us to just settle our confidence and put some of those fears aside. The number one thing I say to people is, don't worry what people are thinking about you. They aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, just like you are. So if we just remember, oh my gosh, really, nobody's really been thinking about me right now anyway. So if you're in a meeting and you're like, how do I jump in? What should I say? I need to sound smart. I should say something. Just remember, all the other dozen people in the meeting are sitting there thinking that same thing, just like you are. So even if you're, in that mind, your mind is racing with what are people thinking about you, just tell yourself, they're not thinking about me anyway. And that just takes out a lot of it. You just remember. And just pay attention to your own thoughts. Probably even as you're watching this video, you've probably had a few times where you're like, what am I going to have for dinner? I need to pull something out of the freezer. Our mind starts racing to other things, and we're really not that focused and scrutinizing the presenter anyway. Another mantra that helps is to, before you do anything else, is just prepare. I always kind of think of it like a lint brush. I've got a lab and there's hair all the time. Before I'm going to present, I always, get all the dog hair off, etc. That we're going to present, we're going to prepare ourselves the same way. And you have a choice of what you're going to think about. So you can choose to think about the worst presentation you gave and how you blew it and how the, technology failed, or you had a spelling mistake, and just see that over and over in your mind and you rehearse things going badly. Or we can consciously choose to think about, what is the best presentation you've ever given? What is the best feedback, and save those. Anytime you're going to present or in meetings, if people say something, hang on to those so that you're able to remember those before you give a presentation. That's fresh in your mind is what your success story is. Another thing, and this kind of comes back to purpose, is if we just remind ourselves, my goal is to serve. My goal is to help people, educate, entertain, inform, then it makes us be more forgiving with ourselves. And I think that comes across to the audience. So like, for example, right now doing this video and podcast on presenting, my goal is to help you. I know thousands of people I've worked with, there's just this terror of public speaking, and my goal is to serve you to not have that you can have a new lease on life and a new freedom and a trust in yourself. So I always think to myself, oh geez, if there's a sound icon that came in, while I was recording and I get distracted and worried, I just get grounded and think, I'm doing the best I can. I'm here to help people. So I happen to like to say, bless my words, help me serve. That's like a little reminder to be grounded. And last, most important, is if we just remember we're connected. And this might be kind of a spiritual take on something as practical as public speaking. But what I found is if we just remember that we're connected to people, and not have such a huge separation from our audience and have a feeling of it's them against us. But really, if we think, hey, we're one team, or if it's, let's say, you're at a campaign rally trying to get people to vote, that is a good intention and you're trying to bring good into the world. So if you have that and you think we're all in this together, then that helps us to feel connected to the audience, which then lowers that feeling of judgment. So, the other thing is just be thinking about like, okay, I'm loving, that's my goal, and we are one. So, if you like that, I am love, we are one, awesome. It's something, just a brief way to quiet our mind and help us to be more grounded and feel connected to other people. And if you do have a faith, and the universe has your back, or, you've got a scripture, that helps you to kind of dial into something bigger, great. Lean into that faith and, to be grounded so that we don't feel sort of alone and small, but that we're able to feel part of something bigger. An analogy I like is, on the surface, islands can look separate, but just a little bit deeper, everything's connected by that ocean. And I think that's the same thing. If we kind of have that, sure, in meetings, it looks like everyone's their own little island, but if you just think, hey, we're part of the same team, we're part of the same company, we're part of the same mission or organization or nonprofit, and just see the different ways that we're connected, it just gives us such a feeling of relief and stops that chatter in our head that creates that imposter syndrome for us. So hopefully these ideas of, practically to help us to be a better presenter, as well as that wisdom and kind of the bigger picture to build our confidence, will help you to overcome a fear of public speaking and presenting so that you can make an impact and feel good along the way.